In the social media reaction genre, silly comments are considered especially heinous. At Dear Woke Christian, the dedicated content creators who investigate these horrible comments are members of an elite squad known as the Dusty Comments Unit. These are their stories.
And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Thanks so much for tuning in on this evening. This is just a live stream. Just going to go over a couple things I've been talking about on the news and the such of that nature, and just hear what y'all got going on. It's going to be a fun, laid back, relaxed, chill kind of an evening this evening. So thank you so much for tapping in with us. I hear my voice multiple times. Why is that? I don't know. What do we have? I'm going to spend some time tomorrow, I promise. Lady Dearwell Christian and a dynamic duo are going to be leaving tomorrow afternoon to go hang out and go do girl stuff. I'm going to fix this audio because I feel like that audio is not living up to its full potential. This kind of audio should have been left in 2024. I'm going to get editor Jason. We're going to figure it out. Producer Jason, we're going to figure it out. We're going to get together. So thank y'all so much for rocking with me on this evening. Hope everybody's doing well. Hopefully 2025 has started off very positive for you. I know there's been a lot of somber moments. We're going to talk about 2 of them, maybe 3 of them this evening. But I still want to inform you that I have it on really good authority that Jesus Christ still reigns. So if you are in Christ, you have nothing to worry about. So these situations that are going on, you know what? They might be a little bit dreary. They might not be exactly what you want them to be, but guess what? It is okay. It is all going to wash out at the end, and it is for our sanctification and perfection. So with no further ado, I want to say thank y'all to everybody who has tapped in. Thank you again. And I'm not going to stop saying this, but I really appreciate how you all came, showed, and proved in 2024. 2024 was the best year I've ever had on this channel, ever. Hands down, unequivocally, ever. Up to this point, because I'm expecting 2025 to be even better. But thank you so much. Real quick, I'm gonna go over some of the I had the 2024 wrap up from YouTube they sent me, and I have no idea where it went. I looked at it on my phone today at lunch. I was like, oh man, it's kind of dope. I should bring this up and show everybody. And I have no idea where it went. But anyway, last year I had 5 million views on this channel. Now, when you realize that the year prior, I might have had 1.2 million views, that's insane. That's almost a 4x improvement. And it's because of y'all. So I want to say thank you all so much. But I'm going to just tell you right now, I'm going big. I'm trying my very best to improve the quality of what I'm offering you on this channel. Because 5 million, I want that to be in the rearview mirror. I want to hit 10 million views on this channel this year. And I'm going to do everything possible to make sure I get there. So y'all gonna see me trying to improve. So I want feedback. I need all the feedback from all the peeps. I need you to let me know if you like what I'm putting out here, if you don't like what I'm putting out here, more of this, less of that, all that kind of good jazz. I'm open to hearing because you all are the ones that find value in this channel. And if I'm giving you value, I'm giving you something that you enjoy every time you come over here. You know you're not wasting your time every time you come over here. Jason is working hard to earn your click and earn your attention. Let me know what else I need to do. Last year, I started the year off with 4, if I'm not mistaken, 4,500 subscribers last year. Of course, we ended the year with 31,000, which is totally, utterly insane. And it's because you all found value in what we're doing over here. And I thank you all for hitting the like button. Not only hitting the like button, I apologize, but hitting the subscribe button, subscribing to the channel, hitting that bell notification, all that kind of good jazz. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm a glutton for abuse. I'm going to go for 50. I'm shooting for, as my sign says here on my screen, 50,000 subscribers by my birthday, April 30. Well, my birthday's in April, but by the end of April, I'm going to hit 50,000 subscribers. So I'm doing everything in my power to encourage I think it's 67% of the people that watch my content that have not actually hit the like button, subscribe button. I'm going to do my very best. Short of reaching through the camera and making you hit that subscribe button, I got to find some way. So I'm going to be doing everything I can to keep this channel growing and giving you the content that you enjoy, social and political commentary from a Christian male perspective. We also hit 2,000. That would be crazy. 200 members on the channel. Shout out to everybody who's a member. Green name with their logo next to it, the membership logo next to their name. Thank you all so much. You all keep pushing this channel, keep encouraging me. You're a member of of course, a member of the best live chat on the internet, but then also you're a member of the Discord, and you give me ideas, shooting me stuff in email and text messages. You all are the best. So I want to say thank you so much. My goal is to keep that 200 members growing and content and getting good value from DWC. The comments. Oh, wait, let me see. The comments on this channel went totally bananas last year. Totally bananas. I want to say we're above 400,000 comments, which is crazy. I don't know what 1 million comments would look like on my channel, but I'm going to tell you right now, I'm trying my very best. So I'm going to be asking you to comment. I'm going to ask you to engage in the chat, jump into the live chat. And then when you leave from the live chat, jump into the comment section. I'm going to be doing that, because I don't know what 1 million comments looks like on a channel, but I'm telling you right now, your boy wants it to happen. So I'm going to try my very best. So I want to thank you all for that. And the very last thing is, if you've noticed, the length of the videos on this channel have started to decrease. I'm not doing as many hour-long videos. Now, I'll do an hour-long, 3-hour-long live stream. I ain't got no problem with it. I've already rested tonight. I've loosened myself up. I'll be here all night. We can talk all night. But you notice the length of the videos have gone down simply because I realized that, looking at my numbers last year, a lot of you all like those mid-range sub 30-minute videos, and a lot of you all like those 12 to 15-minute videos. So guess what? We got to give you some 12, 15-minute videos, maybe a few up to 30, but we ain't doing an hour-long treatise anymore, because that's not what you all enjoy watching. So there'll be some of those though, because like tomorrow we have one coming up that's a little bit longer, looking at Umar Johnson and his fake, phony, false school that he's starting up there in Wilmington, Delaware. But we're not going to be doing a lot of those. I will be still doing these long live streams, so have no fear. We'll still be looking at court cases. We'll still be doing long dive live streams and such like that. However, I want to make sure that I'm giving you something that you can say, hey, I know that I'm going to watch 16 minutes of Jason rambling and talking loud in his home office, and it's going to be worth my time. Or, hey, Jason put out a 20-minute video. I know it's going to be worth my time. I don't want to put out a 3-hour video and you're like, why did I watch this? That's not what I want. So to everybody who's tapped in already, thank you so very much for an amazing, amazing 2024. I've never seen my channel do that well. I never envisioned that it would do that well. So now I got to go big. So I got big plans for this year, and I'm hoping that you all will ride along with me. Thank you, everybody who's been members of the channel, who've just been members of the best live chat on the internet, who've subscribed to the channel, of course, share the videos, and of course, comment and add to the dialogue and the discussion. It means a lot. Even if you don't like me, hey, let me tell you right now. Even if you don't like the Hitman, I appreciate you. I got hate watchers. I got them. I got them. Matter of fact, I'm kicking the beehive because I'm talking smack about Umar Johnson. I'm fine with that. All I ask you to do is get in that live chat and talk about it. Talk about me. If you need me to tell you some things about me, I can tell you some things about me. Probably straighten you out, give you some more stuff to talk about me. I can tell you that. I'll show you if I need to, if it matters, I'll show you my transcript from school. Y'all can see I was not a good student. Whatever it takes to get you to watch more videos, that's what I'm gonna do. Everybody wants to thank you. Hey, real quick, do me a favor. In the chat, can y'all put the word Contra in the chat? Just real quick. Contra, C-O-N-T-R-A. And this is Richard from Contra Talks with Richard. He is an outstanding content creator. He's been out here really grinding as long as I've been out here on YouTube. And if you don't mind, You don't want to see my transcripts, my guy. You don't want to see my transcripts because there's it's called nightmare fuel. That's why. But I mean, it might change your perspective. You might be like, look, God is real. Because if this dude can get away with it, then anybody can. But real quick, Richard over here at Contra Talks with Richard, can y'all do me a favor? Jump over there and check out what that brother's doing. He's been doing a great work. He really does a fantastic job interviewing pastors and talking about highbrow Christian content. He himself is a pastor and has done a fantastic job of keeping that nice balance between what we talk about here on YouTube in these YouTube streets and then what he talks about in that sacred box. So if you don't mind, Richard, drop your link in the chat. Make sure that everybody can go by and check out what you're doing. And of course, subscribe to your channel. Now, I don't know. Somebody must have put out an APB. Let me make sure I got this. I'm gonna make sure you got the power, Richard. Somebody must have put out an APB and somebody to get on over here to DWC tonight, and that somebody is the right Reverend, my good friend, Mr. White Label Consulting. Shout out to Mike from White Label Consulting, another fantastic content creator. If you are a content creator and you're using OBS or trying to fix your lights or perfect your audio, anything of that nature, make sure this gentleman is in your repertoire. And please, if you don't mind, Mike, drop your link as well. This gentleman, me and Mike, and y'all seen Mike come on the channel before. We sit around and chop it up all the time. But please, if you are a content creator and you're trying to perfect what you're doing here in these YouTube social media streets, it doesn't have to just be YouTube. Mike does a fantastic class on how to use OBS. He's done excellent classes on how to fix your lights, how to fix your camera. Of course, we can talk about how earlier my camera was falling while the video was going. That's crazy. But yes, Mike over here at White Label Consulting is an excellent, excellent resource. So if you're looking to get into YouTubing, if you're already out here in these streets and you want to upgrade your technology, should I get this computer? What about these lights? All that kind of stuff like that. I highly recommend and suggest that you check out Mike over at White Label. I have no idea what's wrong with my voice. I think my kids gave me the cooties. Amethyst Angel, I'm so happy to have you. Thank you so much for stopping by tonight. Thank you so very much for stopping by. Always good to see you, and it's so good to see Shay in the building. Boston Man is a new one. Glad to see you, brother. Thank you so much for hanging out. There she is, Miss Spiker in the building. Thank you so much for every last one of you. Simply Renee, love it. Thank you so much. Adventures with Red Man Bone, I love it. Thank you so much for stopping through. And Corey, of course, always good to see Mr. Corey Barnes. I'm glad you like the hat. Thank you so very much. Now, I do have some, they're kind of somber because I got some questions that I need you all to help me out with. But before we get too far in that, I do want to talk about something that's super fun. So we'll get on a nice high note and we'll surf down from there. All right. Y'all know the other night I talked about the Mean Green Mississippi Valley State marching machine. Well, guess what? They are about 15,000 away from hitting their goal of $275,000 in order to go to Washington, D.C. Shout out to the Mean Green marching machine. It doesn't look like they've been deterred by all the clownery and shenanigans that have been said about them and people saying that they shouldn't go to inauguration, whatever. So shout out to them. I thought that was super dope. I'm pretty sure by Sunday, they're going to probably hit this goal. They're about 90% to their goal, unless they increase the goal or something like that. They should hit it by Sunday. So shout out to them. Hopefully they'll be able to get to DC with all of their team, all of their equipment, all of their accoutrements, have a nice place to stay, Have a fantastic time in the inauguration parade. And then, of course, take it on back to Mississippi. So shout out to the Mean Green Marching Machine. Now, thank you so much. How are you, Amy Lynn? There she is, Foxy to Roxy. Good to see you, Lady Ingram. You sent me an email today, and I'm going to get back to you. Thank you so much. All right. What is going on, Dwayne? Bless you, man. Good to see you, sir. Y'all, okay. All right. After the election, we talked about an idea that Elon Musk kind of said that, you know, we are the new media. A lot of people didn't like that. A lot of people didn't like that Elon Musk was saying things like Twitter and YouTube and Instagram and Reddit. Those are the new media outlets because, you know, people want scholarship in journalism and it's such of that nature. So I can kind of understand what the pushback, what the upsetness was. But I want to show you a quick article from somebody in the new media. Shout out to
Not sure if you
shout out. Whoa.
are
Shout out to a Yellow Flash here on YouTube. And he did a review of a discussion about how Americans' view of media, the old school media, has completely plummeted. People don't trust mainstream media anymore. And he gives an example using the Cybertruck situation in Las Vegas. So we'll talk a little bit about the Cybertruck, simply because, but I want to talk a little bit more about what happened in New Orleans. But the whole Cybertruck situation. So let me bring Yellow Flash in. And here we go.
I'm not sure if you are aware of this or not, but Americans' trust in the media is at an all-time low. This is from Gallup. It's posted October 14th. So it's been a little bit, but I don't think it's changed that much since October. And one of the best reasons I've seen for why this is happening came with this Cybertruck story. So this happened, I believe, New Year's Day. And somebody, well, actually, not somebody, they know who it was. A lot of that's come out now, but this guy parked a Cybertruck right in front of Trump Tower and loaded it up with all kinds of explosives, a lot of fireworks, and, you know, it exploded in front of Trump Tower. Well, actually, this is what it looked like at the end. Actually held together pretty good. Probably one of the best advertisements, as said here, that Cybertruck could ever have. Now, one of the reasons I'm going to include this in the video is because, well, media and Hollywood kind of go together. But look at the mainstream coverage for this. And this is why everybody's just like, mainstream media, I don't know. How can you believe anything they say when this is the way they cover shit?
Oh,
so this is from Elon Musk. You don't hate the legacy media enough. And he's retweeting this Doge designer account where they show the misinformation that the New York Times, the Guardian, and MSN put out there. Tesla Cybertruck catches fire outside. How it just caught fire. It was one of those tumbling fireballs that Vegas is known for. And it just magically hit it, opened the door, went inside the Cybertruck, and then caught, you know, the entire thing on fire. One dead after Cybertruck explodes outside the Trump Hotel. That one's a little bit more accurate because, well, it did explode. But catching fire. Tesla Cybertruck reportedly catches fire. It just caught the fire. You know, it attracts fire. It was tumbling fireweeds. Just ran right up on the Cybertruck. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? What is this? This is shit. I don't know why this is included because it did explode.
Sorry about that, y'all.
Kind of exploded. I mean, it was the fireworks in there, but I guess looking at this, it kind of makes it sound like it just randomly exploded. Like, those Cybertrucks, they just kind of blow up once in a while. It wasn't that somebody packed it full of explosives. So just kind of shitty reporting. And this is a great example as to why they're not to be trusted. And it's sad that we can't trust the media. Like, they should put out accurate stuff, and nobody trusts it. This is why they're all losing money, and they've done this to themselves.
All right. First of all, shout out to editor Jason. Can you do a better job of cutting out the profanity, sir? Thank you. Good gracious, man. I don't know what I was doing. Sorry about that. But I just thought that was such an interesting story. I wasn't going to spend a lot of time on the whole Cybertruck because, like Richard said right here, it's such a weird story, man. Like you firebomb a Cybertruck in front of Trump Tower for what? And I think this is really, there's a bigger story here, is that people don't know how to deal with setbacks. People don't know how to deal with suffering, for lack of a better term. And you almost see it whenever you tell your child, you give them a command, and it's a very definitive, nothing's going to move forward. You're not going to get whatever it was that you thought you were going to get, whatever like that. And your child just continually tries to negotiate and continually tries to finagle and finesse his or her way into getting what it was that they thought they wanted, or what they thought they were going to get, but now they found out that they can't. And it's not a matter of just, hey, you know what? Mom said I can't get it. Dad said no. I guess that's what it is. No, it's always some kind of way. I gotta get it. I got to. No is not a definitive answer for me. Now, of course, there's some instances where you probably should keep going after it, right? Go for the no. I understand. I used to be in sales. I get you. But that's not what we're talking about. And so, jumping back to the Trump Tower situation, people don't know how to deal with, well, first of all, too much of their attention, too much of their focus is in the government, federal government, elected officials, and such like that. Too much hope is in there. And you know that because look at the dismay that these people have based upon the fact that the cosplaying Indian woman did not win. So when you see that, it's a very clear indicator that a lot of these people are not well adjusted to hearing no, well adjusted to accepting that something isn't going their way. I'm sure you all have seen the TikToks of people that are convincing themselves, that are coping themselves into believing that somehow or another Kamala Harris is going to be sworn in as president on Inauguration Day. It is the wildest stuff. It is the wildest stuff. Just listen to people jump on TikTok and give these crazy theories. Ma'am, sir, it's over. No, they're not still counting votes in New Mexico. There's not a truckload of votes coming from Washington State. No, it's over. 47 is your new president. Take it, be quiet, and go on and do great things with your life. But they can't do that. They can't. So then you see things like this, of course, this crazy Cybertruck, pack a Cybertruck full of explosives, light it on fire outside of Trump Tower. For what? What's that going to do? Really, for real though. What does it actually do? Not a thing. Not one solitary thing. Nothing is going to change. That man's still going to be sworn in as president. Cybertrucks are still going to be doing whatever they do. I saw one today and I was like, man, that thing does look sweet. It was a blacked out Cybertruck. That matte black wrap on it. It looked pretty pretty. I ain't gonna even lie. I was looking at it like, man, I would absolutely unequivocally, if they brought that thing across the street and said, here, JC, you can have it, I would absolutely have taken it. I just can't buy one. I'm not a fan of electric vehicles, so I'm very anti-electric vehicles. So that's beside the fact. But I think the truck, that one was growing on me. I was like, oh, that thing looks nice. So shout out to the black Cybertruck that I saw. I think I've seen that one before. So shout out to them. And I mean, it looked good. So shout out to that. All right, back to my point. So I think it's very interesting that, as Yellow Flash pointed out, the mainstream media is really starting to take a back seat to new media. Now, does that mean that everything is right? No, that means we have to use common sense. It means we have to vet the sources, and we got to double check, triple check, and make sure where we're getting our sources from are legitimate. But then we used to do that, believe that the mainstream media was like that, but now they're not. So it's just, I just think it's really interesting. I'm very, very intrigued on where this is going to go as it relates to how the mainstream media, new media, how they're going to coalesce. I know a lot of people believe that mainstream media is going to try to get into podcasting. Come on, please, come on, please, 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 please do it. Absolutely do it. They will drive the price down of everything. It'll be just like 2020 again. So yeah, please come on, mainstream media, y'all come right up in here to podcasting. Absolutely. No, she don't deserve a medal. No, go away. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with. I just have a SUV, but I'm gonna stick with just old school pickup truck. I mean, some of these new I saw a new Chevy Silverado today too in my parking lot. I was like, ooh, that looked really nice too. I ain't gonna lie, but it was also like this electric blue. It was they just wanted you to see it. It was gonna stand out, and it looked really nice. I'm still team combustible internal combustion engines rather than that. But hey, I thought they looked nice though, for sure. Y'all, thank you so much, everybody. Let's about 30 of us done tapped in tonight. Make sure you hit that like button if you don't mind. Help your brother out. Help your brother out. Okay. And I'll just take questions in a moment. But I want to I got to talk about Fonnie, and I got to talk about this New Orleans situation. Okay. I'm perplexed about this New Orleans situation. Okay. And I need some people to help me out. So please feel free to jump in and help me out here. Okay. Because I see so many people talking about this one aspect of this case. I don't think it matters as much. Shout out to this gentleman's channel is called Soldiers of Finance. Really great YouTube channel. Does great conversation about all kinds of political and social commentary and such like that. I thought he had an interesting take on it. And I do want to talk about, I hear a lot of people talk about the same topic about this particular woman, the FBI agent. Y'all know what they said about her. Matter of fact, just go and put it in the chat. You already know what they said about her. Why is everybody bothered by this though? Oh yeah, he's super cool. Super cool guy. Definitely want to encourage you all to check out Soldier of Finance for sure. But I'm not understanding, and maybe I'm just, I don't know. I'm not understanding what the big issue is that people have with this young lady. So we're going to watch this. And I do understand she said some conflicting things in the initial moments after the attack, and that compared to when she said something later on. I do understand that she said something different, but I mean, it's different information is available. I'm willing to give it to him, but a lot of people, even Tyrone here, has a problem with the same thing. Yep. There they go. Okay. I'm not a fan of them either, but I'm just like, is that the biggest issue we have? Okay, so let's bring this in. Let's hear what they got to say. Let's go.
It was not a terrorist event. What it is right now is their improvised explosive devices that was found. And we are working on confirming if it's a viable device or not.
6.5 hours later.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Alethea Duncan. I'm the Assistant Special Agent in charge here in FBI New Orleans. An ISIS flag was located on the trailer hitch of the vehicle, and the FBI is working to determine the subject's potential associations and affiliations with terrorist organizations. Weapons and potential improvised explosive devices, IEDs, were located in the subject's vehicle. Other potential IEDs were also located in the French Quarter. As of now, 2 IEDs have been found and rendered safe. The FBI Special Agent bomb technicians, as well as our local law enforcement partners, have been working to determine if any of these devices are viable, and they'll work to render those devices safe. The FBI, we are working with our partners to investigate this as an act of terrorism.
Okay, that was Althea Duncan, special agent with the Federal Bureau of Investigations, the FBI.
Okay, so I'm gonna shout out to Tyrone from Soldiers of Finance YouTube channel. Great content. Check out what he's doing over there. I do want to ask this question because I did ask it the night that we watched this, the initial press conference. Why are all those people up there? Why are there all those people up there? There's like 20 people standing up there. Why? It just looked like a mosh pit. They only needed about 5 people there. The mayor, the FBI, the governor, the senator, and I think 2 other people, 7. Why were all those people up there? What are they doing? It just seemed like such a weird look. Okay, let me bring him back in. Let's let him tease it out because we're going to talk about this nose ring thing. I just don't get it. I don't get it. Okay, go.
And you want to talk about somebody who does not inspire confidence. Look, she's been replaced already. We're going to talk about Althea Duncan being an emblem of the mediocrity of this government. And it just seems like it's getting worse and worse. Look, I imagine that she was there over the New Year's Eve and New Year's holiday. Althea, you're in charge. Everybody sit back like, well, nothing's going to happen, right? So we'll put Althea in charge. And then the first chance she gets to come out and make a public statement, she's got a nose ring in, all right? She is blatantly lying. The FBI's first inclination is to lie to the people. It's not terrorism. How in the hell isn't it terrorism when the guy has got an Al-Qaeda flag attached to the back of the truck? Okay? And this was a rental truck. So this guy rented a truck and took the effort to affix the flag to the rented truck.
Right.
You know how you never put premium gas in a rental? Okay, you never wash a rental. This guy made a modification to put the Al-Qaeda flag on the truck. And here we have an FBI agent. Now, these are the people who are supposed to be in a position to prevent these types of attacks, right? They're supposed to know when this stuff is going down. You're supposed to have these barriers up, these bollards up in New Orleans. They made a big to-do about that, but where were they, right? And then this happens. Now, this is the same FBI that will go after you, will come to your house, and they will say, hey, you got a problem with these lewd books that are in the elementary school library? The FBI will come to your house and intimidate you. That's what they've been doing over the past 4 years. But they don't know about this. This is the same FBI that persecuted Catholics, wrote a memo and said, if you attend a traditional Latin mass and you're a Catholic, we need to keep our eye on you. And then they tried out this woman, Althea Duncan, with the nose ring to tell us, oh, it's not terrorism. It's not terrorism. And it would have stayed that way if the American public had not said, hey, wait a minute, guys, not this time, right? You got the Al-Qaeda flag flying here, right? Listen, I don't trust a word coming out of the U.S. government. or the media. We are intelligent people. We have to look at things, take in as much objective information as we can, and make determinations on our own. And look, this whole notion that, oh, if you don't believe what the media or the government says, you're engaging in a conspiracy theory. Whatever. Call it whatever the hell you want. Conspiracy theorist is now synonymous with critical thinker. All right. Because we've just gone through 3.5 years, roughly 4 years, of the media telling us that a U.S. president, oh, this is the most cogent he's ever been. The president has no problem. There are no cognitive issues here. He's sharp. Okay, the media told us that lie for 4 years now. Okay, so everything they say is garbage. We got to look at things objectively, hear from people on the ground. Now, this government is becoming more and more mediocre by the day. And look, hey, look, I'm sorry. This woman, Althea Duncan, did not inspire confidence from the start. All right. Oh, but she's an FBI agent. So what? An FBI agent. The FBI is a microcosm of the rest of society. And you've got A1, knock it out of the park performers in general society. And you've got folk that are the participation trophy. And I don't know this woman. All right. All I know about her is her performance. She showed up with a nose ring. That's making international headlines. Way to go with your uniform standards, FBI. And even if the FBI is saying, hey, wait a minute, that's against our uniform standards. Apparently something's going on. She didn't even have the temerity to take it out before she got on international news, before international news cameras. And yes, it is a big deal because it is emblematic of the breakdown of discipline within these law enforcement agencies of our government. And remember, oh, they will come after you. All right.
Do y'all agree? I understand his arguments. I'm not disagreeing with him, and I'm not a nose ring fan by any means or measure. Okay. I just don't know if that's the biggest problem that they have, though. But what do you think? Do you think that this is a problem and this is a bellwether of horrible things, and this is exactly why the government is falling apart because this woman has a nose ring? Or is it because she was incompetent? Because we're going to look at the chief of police as well, because she doesn't have a nose ring, but she's equally as incompetent. But like, what do y'all think about that? I don't know if I'm. Thank you so much, Amethyst Angel, for the $5 super. I appreciate you starting 2025 off with a beautiful $5. Thank you so much. All right, so Jean says she agrees. Okay. I mean, I definitely don't like them. I just okay. I'm gonna roll with y'all. I'm gonna roll with y'all. Said both. Okay. Well, let me ask this question. Okay, let me ask a question. Big screen, big screen. Okay, what if she was very, very, very competent, extremely competent? She instilled a lot of comfort, and you're like, yo, she means business, and she had a nose ring. Would you feel, would that reduce your confidence? I mean, she was very direct, she was very clear, upfront, all that kind of stuff like that. But she had a nose ring. Would you be okay with that? Or would you say the nose ring didn't play into it? Or would you say, like, where would you land? Jean, and not trying to pick on Jean. Jean knows I love her. Yes, conspiracy theorists are critical thinkers. I love it. All right. See, that's what I'm there with you, Mo Mac. Again, not a fan of them. I definitely don't like the one that goes like through the middle of your nose. I just don't. No, she didn't sound confident. But I'm saying, what if she did, though? That's all I'm saying. What if she came across very clear, very direct, very confident inducing? Would you care that she had a nose ring? That's all I'm wondering. I'm not saying that, again, I'm not team nose ring. You're not going to see DWC roll up in here tomorrow with, with a fish hook in his nose or anything of that nature. I'm just wondering if she did come across as confident, would we excuse the nose ring? Maybe that's what I'm trying to say. And Momac, I'm just asking because lots of people were in disagreement with this young lady right here, assistant director to the FBI, and they were all talking about her nose ring. I'm like, well, what about the other things that she said that are good or bad? But the nose ring just kept seeming to be the big issue. So Tyrone here from Soldier of Finance is talking about the nose ring, and I'm just kind of, stirring the pot, so to speak. So let's bring this back in. Let's finish up.
You jaywalk in front of the J. Edgar Hoover building, and man, you're going to have a problem. All right. Look, just to substantiate that, and she looked in the mirror before she got on TV. She just didn't see a problem. And again, why am I making such a big deal of it? Because that small thing is emblematic of other things in terms of the FBI's leadership and what they focus on. And you could take it a step further and say, what the hell's going on in the U.S. Army? Because this guy that perpetrated the attack down in New Orleans, him and the guy who was involved in the Cybertruck explosion in front of Trump Tower, Las Vegas, they're both from the Army. Both served at Fort Bragg.
Yeah.
Now they call it Fort Liberty because I guess Bragg, I don't know, maybe he wolf whistled at a woman or
he's a wild.
Use the N-word, so you can't call it Fort Bragg anymore. They call it Fort Liberty. Both of them served down there. Internet sleuths noticed change in FBI special agent's face after she broke a bureau rule at New Orleans press conference. The FBI agent in charge of providing updates on the New Orleans terror attack apparently took her nose ring off after being slammed for it online, according to internet sleuths. It doesn't take an internet sleuth. You're watching the thing and you're like, hey, nose ring.
Okay, then that must be it as well. Because my first introduction to her was at the press conference that I showed that we did that night. That was my first introduction to her. I had not seen this one on top until later. So maybe that's another reason why it didn't seem like it bothered me as much, because when I first saw her, she didn't have the nose ring in. That might be another reason.
Ring in. What's up? She's supposed to be with the FBI, right? Special Agent Alethea. I want to pronounce her name correctly. I've been saying Althea, but it's spelled Alethea Duncan. Alethea is a pretty name, actually. Alethea Duncan was seen with the facial piercing during a morning press conference following the terror attack in the French Quarter, which left 14 dead on Wednesday. But by the next press conference, Duncan appeared without the nose jewelry, sparking comments on social media, given that the FBI does not allow its agents to have facial piercings. Okay. Special agent in charge, Alethea Duncan, shows up to the scene sporting a nose ring, read one post on X. Can the FBI at least pretend to function as a serious law enforcement agency? And that's a quote from someone online, did FBI Special Agent Alethea Duncan remove her nose ring after her first press conference when she said this was not a terrorist event? It's a quote. She said, quote, this is not a terrorist event, unquote. To her second press conference, Duncan was also criticized when she contradicted the claim by New Orleans mayor that the attack was terrorist in nature. I mean, even if it's not, did you see the footage of it? I can't air it here, but did you see the footage of this guy driving into that crowd? Okay. He's got the Al-Qaeda thing. He's dressed in like some military garb and whatnot. This is not a terrorist event. Nose ring bespeckled Alethea Duncan claimed before the FBI confirmed that, yes, indeed, the attack was a terror case. Look, I don't know what's going on. Facial piercings are not permitted. And when you are in violation of something so small that you notice because you looked in the mirror before you got on television, you were just going to do what you wanted to do. But when you look at that small violation, then you start to understand why she was so comfortable with just lying to the public. The best she could have said was, we're investigating right now. You know, it just happened. We're putting the pieces together. We're going to come back for you with more information. All right, and this is involving that guy Shamsu Din Jabbar, who went on a heinous attack. We did a live on that. We're going to be doing more on that, on this whole thing. Okay, I want to talk about these two individuals, Jabbar and the guy that was in the Tesla truck. Okay, because there are too many coincidences between these two guys. All right, not only did they rent from the same service, they both were not only in the U.S. Army but served in on the similar location. Okay, at one time. Did they ever meet? I got some questions about this. Much more to come, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. Hit that thumbs up and subscribe.
All right. Thank you so much for that. All right. And hear me. I'm not trying to turn this into an anti-nose ring discussion. I totally get, again, I'm not against nose rings. I'm not for them. I just don't get what was the big issue. But I understand a little bit more. So, shout out to everybody who graciously helped your boy figure it out a little bit. Momac, I totally understand what you're saying right here. A lot of our apostolic brethren and sisterin have been deeply hurt by some of the shenanigans that happens in apostolic, quote unquote, holiness churches. So shout out to you. Hopefully you have a good church home now. Okay. We're going to stay in New Orleans. We're going to stay in the Bayou City. And an issue that I had, and I brought this up with April Chapman from the Standard of Truth podcast, and she did a great response about it. This is not going to sit well, and there's going to be a lot of people that don't like me afterwards. But please, it's only the third day of the year. I promise you, I'm going to make you even madder by the 13th day. So don't run away yet. I think there's a problem with carte blanche giving leadership roles and positions to people without considering the weight and the gravity of the position that they're getting. Let me give an example. If you make a 7-year-old the captain of the 7-year-old girls soccer team, and she's a girl, that's different than making a 22-year-old the captain of the women's Olympic soccer team. I think we all can agree, like, hey, there's a little bit more responsibility on that Olympic team. There's a lot more experience on that Olympic team. So we need to be a little bit more discerning about who is actually the captain of the team. I think that's fair. I don't think that's a lap too far. And the more I'm watching this, and if you step back, you'll kind of see a trend as well. There are some people put in places of position of power post 2020, 2021 that don't need to be there. They don't need to be there in those positions. And they're causing more problems than they're solving. And it's creating more problems than they're solving. And now I'm going to bring in my next argument about this New Orleans case. All right. And had you all heard about the barriers that were supposed to be used during the parade? Had y'all heard about these guys? And we're going to look at, you know what? Let me do something different. Let me do a little slightly different. I'm going to play the chief of police first. Yeah, I'm going to do the chief of police first, because she's going to talk about these barriers, and she's going to talk about how they use these barriers during the attack. And these barriers were in place during the attack. Okay. So let's bring this in. Let's see what she's got to say. Unmute the tab. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Let me bring this back in. Sorry about that. Thank you so much for letting me know. Okay, we're gonna try again because I'm just listening to it. So let me real quick. Let me let it play. Can y'all just real quick let me know you can hear it?
Behind us is what we call hardening the target. So we have brought in heavy trucks. You will see when you go.
Can y'all let me know if you can hear?
You will see yellow, what we call archers, and they're along the sidewalk. And that would be to be preventive if someone had, or if this particular terrorist went around up.
Okay, so real quick, just to make sure everybody can hear. So I see. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you. Okay, so this is the chief of police, and these are these yellow archers down here. There's 5 of these things. I guess if you hit it, it'll push up into your engine compartment, push up into your transmission, and stop the car, render the car immovable. Now, you almost kind of believe that these were in place on the day of the parade, don't you? Stay tuned.
What you see behind us is what we call hardening the target. So we have brought in heavy trucks. You will see when you go down Bourbon, you will see yellow, what we call archers, and they're along the sidewalk. And that would be to be preventive if someone had, or if this particular terrorist went around up on the sidewalk. That's what that would do. Okay, it would slow that down for anyone who thought that they could breach our targets. And so those are some of the main differences we are done in the quarter. Also, you are going to see an incredibly large presence of police. And we are, though, confident, but we want our community to feel confident and know they are confidently safe. And that's what we're going to do. So right now, I can declare to you that the Bourbon Street is open.
Chief, where did those archers come from?
Sorry?
Yellow archers, where did they come from?
Actually, we have them. I didn't know about them, but we have them. And so we have been able now to put them out.
Okay.
All right. And at the end, she said the quiet part out loud. They didn't have those archers in place. They didn't have those barriers in the right place. And I'm gonna bring a news article in that explains it, because they actually interview the company that makes those archers and shows they didn't actually have them in play on New Year's Day. They didn't. They brought them out after the fact. I know it's crazy. It's crazy, but let me bring this in. I just thought that was really wild. Again, when we talk about competent leadership, we talk about people being in place. Watch this. All right, let me bring this up. Here we go. Let me know one in the chat you can hear.
5 investigates now with some big questions about security following that attack.
Tonight, the CEO of a company that produces 700-pound steel barriers said New Orleans has owned them for years, but did not deploy them on New Year's Eve. Our investigative reporter Bennett Haverly looking into this. He joins us now with what he's found out. Bennett.
Yeah, Allison and Stefan, the city of Chicago also has what are called archer barriers, which are used to restrict traffic and prevent ramming attacks at big events like the Democratic National Convention and the Chicago Marathon. Tonight, there are still questions about why these weren't in use in New Orleans. This video from New Orleans shows street crews offloading yellow steel anti-vehicle barriers in the hours after the New Year's Day ramming attack that killed 14 people and injured 35. Photos show them set up near the makeshift memorial for the victims.
So they put them out after the event. So they locked the door after the person robbed them. That's crazy. That's what I'm talking about. I don't know if New Orleans is being led by someone who is proper and thinks properly in order to keep New Orleans safe. And they got the Super Bowl next month. They've spent more time worrying. I think they've spent more time worrying about whether or not Lil Wayne and Kendrick Lamar are going to be halftime performers than they have on keeping these people safe. I'm just saying, this is going to be a very scary Super Bowl. Let's go.
American product, 700 pounds of American steel made in our factories. We rent and sell these, and it's the strongest mobile barrier in the world.
Peter Whitford is the CEO for the Meridian Rapid Defense Group. He told me the city of New Orleans purchased the devices from his company 8 years ago, which happened after the deadly ramming attack in Nice, France.
In 2017, they bought, I think, 48 barriers from us, and they bought those in preparation for their Mardi Gras event that year.
And I guess that's sort of the big question that looms over all of this. If they had already purchased these barriers, why weren't they in use?
That's a question that I can't answer. That's a question I think you'd have to ask them.
NBC5 Investigates reached out to the city of New Orleans with those same questions again on Friday. A spokeswoman said she would get back to us. When Bourbon Street reopened Thursday, the police chief was asked about them.
Those yellow archers, where did they come from?
Actually, we have them. I didn't know about them, but we have them. And so we have been able now to put them out.
New Orleans was in the middle of a months-long project to replace street bollards, and were using other barriers like police cars to restrict traffic. But video from that night shows the white Ford F-150 pickup driven by the attacker goes right around the police car set up to block traffic. You can see the truck make a right turn onto Bourbon Street before accelerating, mowing down New Year's revelers. Do you think if these had been deployed on New Year's Eve in New Orleans that the attack could have been prevented?
I think there would be a completely different outcome. I think that would be reasonable to say.
Whitford says his product has been used in Pasadena to protect the Rose Bowl parade, and the city of Chicago has a $2 million contract for the barriers, which were deployed recently ahead of the Big Ten hockey tournament at Wrigley Field. Alderman Ray Lopez would like to see them be required for permitted street festivals throughout Chicago. And NBC News reviewed law enforcement documents that show that vehicle ramming attacks remain a highly viable option for terrorists and underscore the need for protective measures, including restricting vehicle access with blocking cars, bollards, or steel barriers. Stefan?
Some important information there, Bennett. Thank you so much.
Sure.
We appreciate it.
All right. Gene, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it for you so that you don't have to worry about getting people. Oh, yeah. Wrongful deaths are loading up fast and furious. I just don't believe. I know this is going to make some people upset. I'm trying not to make people upset in 25, but I think I'm going to do it. I'm not saying that women are incompetent. What I am saying is that men think of problems and danger differently, much more differently. And that's why I know, movies and books and TV shows got you believing that every, 115-pound chick is able to take out a 300-pound male assassin. I know that, but it's not reality. It's not. It's not. President Firstborn is as tall as me, and I got her beat by 150 pounds. She's hit me with all of her force and all of her effort, and I might have went back to sleep. It's not the same. So, and they think about problems differently. They think about contingency plans differently. And I think here, I do believe this is what we're seeing. Because if they had those barriers in place, and they literally put them out after the fact, that's the part that's got to make people upset. They literally put them out after the fact. And the police captain was proud of it. She was big proud. Like, oh, yes, we're hardening the target. Do you expect somebody else to be doing something? Really? Really? But you're putting out the blockades and the barriers after the fact. I'm sorry. I don't think that this is not what's called its defining moment by any means or measures. This is not a good look for New Orleans, especially all of the festivals and concerts and the such that they have every year. I mean, don't they? I mean, they stay concerts. New Orleans loves concerts and festivals. And I just don't think this is, I think this is a very bad look for them, especially on the heels of, I'm sorry, yeah, on the preceding the inauguration, preceding the Super Bowl. Thankfully, they were able to do that. What was it, the Sugar Bowl yesterday? They were able to do the Sugar Bowl without any problem or incident. But let's be honest, nobody would think that there would be a repeat in the exact same place. But I really think if we look at it and we have an honest discussion as a community about leadership in just starting at the city, local level leadership, I think we'll see a trend that's not a good look. That's not a good look. And I think I understand, but I think people need to better understand and be more honest and say this is not what we should be doing. We should not be putting women in a position that they're not going to be successful and putting people in danger. Because again, there's going to be some wrongful deaths coming out of that fast and furious. There's going to be so much. And it didn't need to happen. It didn't need to happen. I know people are going to be upset about that. But, let me know what you think down in the comments below. And, we'll just have to, we'll hug it out. We'll give you a shoulder to cry on, but it's still going to be true. Ms. Contrell needs to resign. The chief of police needs to resign. They need to be up out of there tomorrow. I'm just saying. Thank you so much, Gene. Absolutely. They're not the same. We're not built the same. Men just see problems differently, danger differently. I know they got you believing it all, all women can do it. It's not. They're not just not the same. We're not the same. But see, this is where the intelligence and the wisdom of God came in, because our women are supposed to be what we fight for. The reason I go to war is because I have a wife and daughters, because I have a family. But let Hollywood tell you, my wife go to war. Like that makes no sense. Like that makes no sense at all. So, feel free to get into the comments, smash the patriarchy. You're archaic, blah, 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 blah. You're knuckle dragging. Go ahead and just do all that. Just jump in there. Make sure you leave a lot of comments, though, if you do say that about me. Make sure you leave a lot of comments, like 40 or something like that. Because I'm trying to drive up them comments and engagement. But then when you get done, prepare yourself to still be wrong. Okay? So don't be mad, but it's just, like, why is this revelation knowledge? Why does this statement have to be said? What does Momac say? We are made to do different things, not the same things. Why is that controversial? If this statement from Momac causes you to get in your feelings, if this statement from her causes you to feel some kind of consternation and pick me, and you want to just go, Twitter fingers of doom, just stop and ask yourself why. Why is this statement so controversial? Why is this statement a reality, an observable reality, that a male is different than a female? We're different. That shouldn't be a controversial, flip the world upside down type of statement. And then from there, the roles of things that men do, things that women do, are different. That should not have to be a controversial statement. But here we are nonetheless. Shout out to you, though. Very solid comment. Thank you so much. All right. Let's get at it. Now, the next two, let's get rid of this New York case. I'm sure you all saw that horrible situation with the man in police custody. I guess he was in the jail hospital, and the police are just wailing on him. They beat him literally till he's no longer with us, and it's pretty terrible, pretty terrible. Well, today, just kind of interesting, and I think it's the right thing to do. The Attorney General of New York decided that the Attorney General's office would step out of the way, and they would recuse themselves which I thought was very interesting. Let me bring this in. Shout out to Paralegal Association of Washington, Institute rather of Washington.
And we are back, y'all. Go ahead and hit that like button, y'all, as we bring you an update on this very disturbing story. If you remember a few days ago, we brought you the story of Mr. Robert Brooks, who is a New York resident, not New York City, but somewhere between central and upstate New York. Well, he was a resident. He was recently beaten to death by prison or jail workers in, it looks like, a hospital setting, y'all. Now, this story has taken the nation by storm as an example of official overreach of, while I don't think these were police, but police brutality and all of that sort of thing. And the latest development in this is the Attorney General for the state of New York. Her name is Letitia James. She is known for being one of the people going after Trump, right? Letitia James says that her office is recusing itself from prosecuting these officials who perpetrated this act.
Hello and Happy New Year. Earlier today, after much consideration, research, and review, my office decided to recuse itself from the investigation of the correction officers involved in the events preceding the death of Mr. Robert Brooks at Marcy Correctional Facility in Oneida County. This decision is not one that was made lightly, but we believe this is the best course of action to protect the integrity of the investigation and to ensure accountability and justice for Mr. Brooks, his family, friends, loved ones, and for all New Yorkers. My office's Division of State Counsel by law represents state agencies in legal matters, including the Department of Corrections and correction officers. My Office of Special Investigation investigates matters where an officer of the law may have caused the death of a civilian. As part of our Office of Special Investigation cases, we do internal conflicts checks. After obtaining video and identifying the officers involved in the incident, we conducted this standard check. 4 of the correction officers under investigation in the Robert Brooks matter are currently defendants in other matters and are being represented by lawyers in the Office of the Attorney General. While we are confident in the firewalls set up between the Division of State Counsel and the Office of Special Investigation, even the possibility or mere appearance of a conflict could tie up a potential prosecution in lengthy legal challenges or get a potential prosecution outright dismissed. And I will not allow justice to be delayed or denied because of a conflict. Earlier today, we filed papers in Onondaga County Supreme Court under County Law Section 701 to appoint Onondaga County District Attorney William J. Fitzpatrick as a special prosecutor in this matter. When a prosecutor is unable to take a case, County Law Section 701 allows for the appointment of a district attorney in the same judicial department. District Attorney Fitzpatrick has served Onondaga County for over 30 years. His office is well-resourced to handle this complex and large investigation, and I thank him for taking on this case. Additionally, my office's Division of State Counsel will not represent the Department of Correction and or its officers in this investigation. Again, this decision was made with the utmost respect for the integrity of this investigation, and we will ensure that there will not be any delays. My Office of Special Investigation will hand over all records to the District Attorney's Office immediately. My office has spoken with representatives of Mr. Brooks's family to explain this decision. And I want to take this opportunity again to express my sincerest condolences to them during this unimaginable, difficult time. It is critically important that justice is served. And this decision ensures that it will be.
Now, why wouldn't her office want to go after these guys? Not that they won't be gone after. It's just that she and her office won't do it. I suppose they'll want to appoint or somehow hand this off to a special prosecutor or some sort of outside prosecuting office. But why isn't she doing it? Well, she cites the fact that several of these corrections officers are already facing charges for previous incidences and that her office is defending them. So you heard that right. Some of the people who perpetrated or who were present when Robert Brooks was killed were already facing charges for previous incidences, and Letitia James's office is helping them with their defense. And now she's saying, because we're helping them with their defense, we cannot also prosecute them for this thing.
Sense.
So let's take a look at this CNN article about this. At least 3 of the officers involved in the fatal beating of Robert Brooks, a New York man held at the Marcy Correctional Facility in upstate New York, were previously accused of assault, according to court documents obtained by CNN. The officers were among 14 staff named by the Department of Corrections related to Brooks's death. None of the officers have been charged with wrongdoing. Check that out, y'all. So as of this article, which was just a few days ago on December 31st, none of the officers have even been charged with wrongdoing. CNN has not been able to confirm the identities of the officers shown in the video or what specific role each named person is alleged to have had. Despite these officers not having their identities publicly confirmed, CNN nevertheless reports that 2 of the New York officers, Sergeant Glenn Trombley and Officer Anthony Farina, were named in a complaint in federal court in 2022 based on a 2000 incident which occurred at the same prison where Brooks died. The complaint alleges as another correctional officer beat a handcuffed inmate at the correctional facility, Trombley and Farina, quote, looked on and failed to intervene in any manner to prevent or stop the beating, leaving the plaintiff with, quote, a permanent facial deformity. Wow. All right. The plaintiff's attorney told CNN it was office policy not to comment on pending cases. So this is a pending case. A different officer, Nicholas Anzalone, who was named by the department, is also named in a separate federal complaint in 2022, stating he joined an assault on an inmate by another correctional officer at the same facility. The complaint alleges the officer was involved in a cover-up fabricating disciplinary charges against the inmate, who was left with, quote, substantial physical and mental injuries. The case is still ongoing. Y'all, this is wild. So interestingly enough, CNN is reporting at the same time that at least 3 of the officers involved in the fatal beating of Brooks have been involved or are involved in previous cases, but they also say that they are not able to confirm the identities of the officers shown in the video. So that's kind of interesting. Also, it's not totally clear if these 3 officers are the same officers that the attorney general is referring to, y'all. So this, you know how these things go. Sometimes it can be a bit of a puzzle to put everything together. I'm sure the pieces will continue to come together over time. But what is clear is that this detention facility has major problems, and it has resulted in multiple people sustaining serious injuries, at least 1 death. And now we have the attorney general of the state of New York, who's so gung-ho to go after some people, saying, look, we're not even going to go after these officers because we are defending them or we're representing them in other cases, y'all. Wow. So I would like to hear what y'all have to say. Are you surprised about this? What do we need to do to clean up our systems, y'all? It feels like every other day we are seeing our criminal justice system fail us. Now, I understand Robert Brooks, he had some terrible charges against him. Lots of people are outraged, but there's a minority of people who have said, look, I'm not going to cry for Mr. Brooks because of what he is either accused or having convicted of doing. But at any rate, y'all, we have to be able to trust our criminal justice officials, and it seems like they're failing us. Let me know in the comments what you think. And of course, as this information continues to trickle out and become clearer and clearer, we'll come back with more updates. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
With that investigation into the death of an inmate at a New York prison, the state attorney general's office releasing body camera footage today showing the beating that is being blamed for his death.
Fox 8's Morgan McKay has been reviewing the incident. She joins us live from the newsroom. Morgan, more than a dozen correction officers were involved in this.
Bianca, Natasha, it's a tough video to watch. Robert Brooks died shortly after this alleged assault. His family has seen the videos, but due to the graphic nature of the body camera footage, Fox 5 has decided to only show images of part of this alleged beating.
Oh.
These videos are shocking and disturbing, and I advise all to take appropriate care before choosing to watch them.
The state attorney general's office released this footage recorded on body cameras worn by 4 correctional officers at the Marcy Correctional Facility in central New York. These videos, which have no audio, show Robert Brooks being carried into the infirmary by correctional officers. Brooks's hands are handcuffed behind his back when officers start punching him. They then hoist him up by his neck very forcefully, and one officer starts to smack Brooks with a shoe. One officer then used his booted foot to kick and pin down Brooks. Another officer punched Brooks in his upper body, and one of the officers again punched Brooks while handcuffed. At one point, Brooks was sat up with his face bloodied, and an officer punched him again. Brooks was then pulled up by his collar and forced to the wall. The next part of the video, which we're not showing due to its graphic nature, shows Brooks being carried back to the table, seemingly unconscious. Brooks died the following morning at a Utica hospital. No charges have been filed yet, but the incident is being investigated by several agencies. In court filings this week, state police investigators said that preliminary findings from the medical examiner's office showed asphyxia as a possible cause of death. Governor Kathy Hochul said she was outraged and horrified after seeing the video and ordered the Department of Corrections to fire the 14 employees who allegedly participated. A spokesperson for the department said that 13 of those involved have been suspended without pay and one resigned. Brooks was serving a 12-year sentence after being convicted of first-degree assault for stabbing a former girlfriend. Reverend Al Sharpton commended Hochul's swift action, but the incident sparked outrage among many elected officials and criminal justice advocates.
It's shocking. It shouldn't be, but it's just the manner, the way in which they did not care. They did exactly what they wanted to without a care in the world.
Now, the New York State Correctional Officers and Police Benevolent Association, the union which represents most of those allegedly in the video, says they do not condone the actions taken in the footage, but will be upholding its obligation to represent its members. Natasha and Bianca.
All right, Morgan, thank you.
All right. So I thought that was interesting. I just wanted to make sure we address that, as I'm sure that case is going to come up again. So I wanted to make sure we at least talked about it to some degree. And I don't see any other way around it, Christian Doc. I mean, again, it's clear the man was not a threat. It's clear the man was not in any way. I mean, was it 7, 8 people in the room? He was not a threat to them. But this is why I keep saying, like, we cannot fix our criminal justice system because we're the criminals. We're the problem. It's us. We're humans. We're the problem. We're evil. We're vile. We abuse power. We abuse the weak. We take advantage of opportunities that we shouldn't, so on and so forth. It's us. We're sinners. This is the problem. We are sinners. So there's not a way to resolve this issue. There's not a way to fix this problem because ultimately we're the problem. We are. It's us. It's we humans. Apart from Christ, we are the problem. And even in Christ, we still cause problems. We ain't perfect. So shout out to everybody. Yo, I got a quick Fonnie Willis update, but I think I'm gonna save that one for tomorrow. I'm gonna save the Fonnie Willis for tomorrow. And just yeah, I'll take any questions. If you got any questions, just drop a question in the chat. We can chit chat it up for a few seconds and see what just put question in the chat. I'll answer as best I can. Keep it. If I can't answer it, then I will not try. I'll just let you know that I'll have to go back and find the answer. But yeah, drop a question in the chat. I'd love to hear what you all are thinking and such like that. I don't know if Mike and Richard are still here, but hopefully they are. Make sure I didn't miss anything on my notes. No, I think we're pretty good. We will be doing some collaborations. I want you to know there will be collaborations popping off in 25. So just be ready to see some new faces on the screen. Some new people that maybe you haven't seen before, or maybe you're used to seeing them where they are, but now you're going to see them here. I think we are talking about, well, if you're talking about the Judge Ingram saying that Fonnie has to respond by January 13th, yes. Yeah, Fonnie Willis's star is starting to dim. I'm wondering what that's all about. This seems interesting that so much of it is starting to fade now. Hey, what's going on? Christian Doc says, I'm here because Susie Q shared. Shout out to Susie Q. That's my girl. Did anyone ever confirm if Dr. Umar Johnson actually a psychologist? I heard his license wasn't real. Okay, great question. Great question. I think he really I think he really did complete the work to be called a psychologist. I listened to another YouTuber who went, I guess there's a clearinghouse where you can find person's their actual credentials, and he said that he did find those and showed them on the screen, so on and so forth. This is the problem that I have though, Christian Doc. Okay, let me use you as an example. Let me use you as an example. I'm going to assume that you're a doctor. If that's okay, if I'm wrong, then I'm just going to use it as an example. Let's say that in order to be a doctor, you have to be tied to a hospital. So there's no private practices, no small anything like that. So you have to be like a general hospital or Copley Memorial Hospital or Mercy General Hospital, whatever, but you have to be associated with a hospital. It would seem like to me that if I said, hey, Christian Doc, what do? You would probably say, I am a doctor at Copley Memorial Hospital. I am an OBGYN at General Hospital. I am a podiatrist at St. Elmo's Fire Hospital, whatever. Was that a real hospital? Okay. So I think you're okay. Oh, perfect. It's even better. Okay, so she's a psychologist, which is why I asked. Okay, great. The only problem is Umar Johnson always talks about he's a school psychologist. There's no such thing as a school psychologist apart from a school. Now, you can be a child psychologist, you can be a youth psychologist and have like an individual practice, a private practice, whatever. But if you are a school psychologist, you don't generally have a school psychologist that's not tied to at least a school district. Okay. I live in Marietta City Schools. They have school psychologists at each school, and they have a head psychologist at central office. So each school psychologist is tied to one of the 11 schools in Marietta City Schools. That makes sense? Notice that Umar Johnson, and matter of fact, I have a video of him. I literally just found it today of him talking about podcast hopping and how he's making money on podcast hopping. Well, that seems interesting because I thought you were a school psychologist. Shouldn't you be serving a school or a community of people, helping them with their children and what's their mental and emotional needs of the child? Isn't that what you should be doing? Why is it that you're in Atlanta? He was in Dawson. I mean, he was in Atlanta going to Griffin, Georgia to do a podcast. When do you actually do the psychologist thing? Just wondering. So I don't know. Again, I saw that he's completed the work to be called a psychologist, a doctor. Does he actually do it, Christian Doc? Therein is the rub. I don't think that I'm still wondering whether or not his license is real. Now, you might have done all of the work, completed all of your assignments, defended your dissertation or whatever it was. You could have done all that stuff, but you could still not be a true certified doctor or licensed doctor, because you never hear him talking to. Whenever you hear him talking, and I despise Umar Johnson because he's a fraud. He's a fraud. And I know y'all about to jump in the chat, and you know what I feel about that. If you don't like what I said about Umar Johnson, get over it. But if you get in that comment section and get real reckless like y'all was doing before, I got 9 videos backed up, ready to just keep dropping and hurting your feelings. So I would highly recommend, if you're a Umar Johnson apologist, that you just go ahead and turn the other way. Turn the other cheek, like Christ said, and go away. Because if you jump in my comment section, I'm going to hurt your feelings. All right. But back to my point. You notice this. No. He is a fraud. You hear me, Christian Doc? Notice I've never heard him talk on a podcast about children's emotional needs or what I would expect a psychologist to talk about if they were a child psychologist. It's always about adults. It's always about 304s. It's always about hood people. It's always these highbrow conversations. But you're a child school psychologist. Why are you not talking about children? Like, why are you not talking about kids? So to the point that you're making, Christian Doc, we probably saying the same thing. We're just coming at it from different angles. I do believe he's a fraud. I'm not taking away that he may have gotten all of his credentials in place to be called a doctor. And maybe we'll do another review of that. Let me see real quick. I can pull it up real quick. But I think I don't think that there's something wrong with it. I think we can all agree to that. There's something wrong with how he's approaching or how he's doing this deal. All right, let me see. All right, it's a little bit longer than I thought. I'm not gonna do that tonight then, but I got it ready though. Yeah. Okay. It's a little bit longer than I thought. So I'm gonna matter of fact, here, this is what I'll do. I'll drop it in here. And maybe one day we'll do it. It's about 30 minutes long. So I'm gonna drop it in here. And then you got it. What does Christian Doc say? I work with school psychologists, both doctoral and master levels. And I'm wondering, where does he get the stuff that he talks about from? He never cites reputable literature. I agree with you. So I dropped the link in here. Feel free to check it out. And the gentleman goes through and shows the clearinghouse where you can see his certificate is real, his credentials are real, because he's answering another guy that said that Umar's credentials are phony. I'm gonna leave it alone like that. I'm just gonna leave it right there, and let y'all. But I would love no, absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Thank you for the question. That was super dope. Hey, if y'all got a question, we're just gonna shoot in the breeze real quick. Drop a question in the chat. I'll do my best to answer it. I appreciate Christian Doc was asking about Umar Johnson's credentials, and I said, hey, I don't know if they're legitimate. I do believe that he probably did at one point have the credentials, but I have much more problems with where he's applying his talents and wares. You never see him working with children. You never even him talking about children, and it's such of that nature. Like parents shouldn't allow their kids to listen to modern day hip hop or anything of that nature. You never hear it. You always hear these, again, adult topics from him, adult subjects, and of course, this failed school idea that still has never seen the light of day. I think that's problematic. So, no, I appreciate it. Thank you again, Christian Doc, and thank you so much for being, I believe, a new subscriber, definitely new to the channel. I appreciate you being a part of the best live chat on the internet. I also want to say thank you so much to Amethyst for kicking us off with some great supers already. Thank you for the two $5 super. She says, who else hates vocal fry and upspeak? It's a statement, not a question. I agree. I'm not a big fan of upspeak. I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't remember when that comment came through, but I think it was during the whole FBI conversation. But then conspiracy theorists equals C, critical thinkers, CT. Get it? I love it. And the math equation is mathing. I love it. Thank you so much, Amethyst Angel, for the very gracious super as well. Now, letting you all know, tomorrow I will be doing a live stream. We're going to talk about this Fonnie Willis update on her, as well as just kind of clear the traps and get ready for the rest of the week. We got a lot going on next week. The Julio Fulio case drops. I believe there's the Luigi case that's up there in New York. I'm sure there's going to be more information coming forward about what happened in New Orleans. This is a lot. There's a lot happening, and we got to talk about it. So I appreciate y'all. Let me see. Any other questions pop up? No other questions in the chat, which is fine, because we can. Let me just put this right here so we can get on the good foot. I'm gonna get these two articles about Fonnie Willis tightened up for you all for tomorrow, and we'll be ready for that. What else do we have here? I think we're good. Yeah, Dwayne, I know they're trying to use that alleged assault with the Brooks fellow. That's really sad. I mean, but again, like I said before, we're the problem. So hopefully, by God's grace, these men that did that will find repentance, because my goodness, in the morning, they need to also find a jail cell, a serious dark jail cell for that. I'd love to know, like, what was the purpose of that? Like, what was the purpose of them even bringing that man in there? It looked like he was already down bad when he came in. Like, what happened? Did y'all tune him up in the hallway? What happened? So it's craziness, man. It's so sad that we cannot get past this segment of the human experience, but we're the problem. So I'm really surprised. All right, what do I got here to make sure I'm not missing anything? I love it. I love it. All right, my good people, let's do this. Let's come back and do it again tomorrow. Tomorrow is Saturday. Again, I plan on doing a live stream tomorrow afternoon. I'll make sure you see the thumbnail and such like that. But I do have a video going hot tomorrow. We're looking at Umar Johnson in the school, the alleged school that he has that he's been, I guess, collecting money for. I don't even understand how people are still falling for this. I'm lost on it, really. Like, how are you falling for this, people? So I will be here tomorrow to cause chaos and pick on them. Let me show you real quick. And this is tomorrow at 9 o'clock. All right. All right. So we got his school opening up, FDMG. Look, got a little for hiring sign on the window. They look real serious. They look real serious. So that'll be tomorrow at 9. And then tomorrow afternoon, we'll do a live stream again. I'm going to probably be checking out my audio. I told you I'm going to get this audio tightened up. This audio's got to be better in 25. So I'm going to be working on that. So I might do that and do a live stream tomorrow to test it out. Make sure everything's hopping and popping like it should. But if you don't mind, if you could, please, make sure you hit the like button if you don't mind. Tell a friend, say, hey, Jason's over here causing chaos, and you need to go over and tell him to stop it. I do appreciate all of you all for tapping in. Thank you so much for liking the videos and hanging out with me. Feel free to drop me an email, dearwokec@gmail.com. You can always email management. Let me know if there's some new articles that you think I should run into or check out. Or, of course, if you think I just talk too much or whatever. You want to send me a new hat? Whatever. It's all good. I appreciate all of y'all. So let's do this again tomorrow. Let's do it at 9. We'll do it at 9 tomorrow. We'll get over here and talk about what's going on at the FDMG school and all that kind of good shenanigans. So until then, everybody, grace and peace. See you soon.
Yo, hit that like for deal with Christian. Yo, for deal with Christian. Smash that bell for DWC. Yo, smash it. Just smash it. Hit that like for deal with Christian. For deal with Christian. Smash that bell for DWC. Yo, smash it. Just smash it. Hit that like for deal with Christian.